Good morning, dear students. I welcome you all in our next lecture of the subject Animal Ecology, under which we have already started chapter number 3, that is population, and the topic characteristic of population. So we have already spent 4 lectures on this point, studying characteristic of population. Now in the present lecture, okay, before that, let's have a small recap on our last lecture. So in our last lecture, what we have studied the age ratio as well as age pyramid, and along with that, 3 different types of age pyramids we have already studied. Along with that, sex ratio we have studied. Now in the present lecture, what we'll study? We will study the dispersal and dispersion. So in the present lecture, we'll study the dispersal and dispersion. So what is the dispersal and what is the dispersion? What is the difference in between them? Let's see what is that. So ecological dispersal means the movement of individual from their birth site to their reproductive site, as well as the movement from one breeding site to the another. Okay, so movement of individual from their birth site to their breeding site, as well as movement from one breeding site to another, is said to be the dispersal. So dispersal is also used to describe the propagation of seeds as well as spores, how the spores and seeds they are spread or dispersed. So as to explain that, dispersal is also been used, right? Or for studying the dispersal terminology or characteristic of a population, we can take an example of the seeds and the spores. Okay, how they are propagated, dispersed from one place to another place, right? So the plant which is going to give rise to the seeds at one place, but along with the wind current, that seeds may get dispersed from one place, means their place of a birth, to the another place, that means their place of a maturation or breeding. So how it can be decided? Along with the wind current, wherever the seeds they get transmitted and grow over there. How? So if the conditions are suitable, optimum moisture is there, wind current is correct, and then the plantlet will grow and it will become mature and start producing the flowers or fruits. So that is what the site of their reproduction. It is different from the site of their origin or birth, right? So the term dispersal can be defined as any movement that has the ability to lead to a gene pool. So what is that? Any movement that has the ability to lead to a gene pool, and it includes the departure, transfer and settlement. Means what? Seeds they get picked up by the wind current, that is departure. So picked up from one place, then transfer along with the wind current, it flows to the next place, and where it get fall down, so that at that place it get settled. So this dispersal includes what? It includes the departure, transfer and then settlement. So dispersal is again very important phenomenon in the animal, means you can say growth of the population. It is important phenomenon. Then dispersion. What is meaning of the dispersion? Dispersion is what? Scattering of the organism over period of time. Okay, within a particular region or within a particular area. So this study of a dispersion has direct concern with the discipline like ecosystem and evolution, right? This dispersion is what? Different. This dispersal is what? Different. Slight difference is there, right? So dispersion has a direct connection with the disciplines like systematics and evolution. Say for example, people they get migrated towards the urban areas from villages, right? So that is the dispersion. They get migrated from from villages to urban areas. For what purpose? For the systematic living, means for the lifestyle, for the growth, economic growth, as well as their overall growth. They get migrated to the urban areas or cities. So that is said to be the dispersion. Okay. Now this dispersal and dispersion phenomenon, they have been showing some characteristic pattern. So what is the characteristic pattern? Let's see that. Uniform dispersion, then random dispersion, and then clubbed dispersion, right? So dispersal or dispersion is of showing three main patterns: uniform dispersion, random dispersion. Just a second, we have moved ahead. Yes, uniform dispersion, random dispersion, clubbed dispersion, right? Now what are the characteristics? On the basis of images, you can get, or you can have a small idea about this uniform dispersion, where the member of a population are distributed more or less evenly. It is uniform in dispersion, right? And it is found in which kind of animals? In the animal species as well as in some plants. This kind of uniform dispersion is also being observed. So the individual of the population are placed or dispersed on the even pattern. They are not clubbed like this or like this. They are not like that, but they are distributed very uniformly, evenly. So this is called as a uniform distribution. Most of the animals and plants, they are distributed evenly like this. Then the second, that is a random dispersion. So this random dispersion, name itself indicate what? The member of a population are distributed randomly. At some places they are gathered together, at some places there is nothing, at some places even distribution means what? They are spaced apart from each other, right? So there is no particular pattern, no particular law is been applied to this kind of a distribution. So such a distribution is said to be the random distribution, and it is not showing any particular pattern. And who is going to show such a kind of dispersion? So whenever we are studying the example, whenever the wind going to disperse the seeds, right, and spread where they happen to fall, wind current carrying the seeds along with it and spread it wherever the wind is going to stop or the seeds are going to fall down. So at some places the seeds may fall at more number, at some places they don't fall, or at with a very rare number, at some places they fall with the optimum number. So accordingly the seeds which is get fall down at that point with whatever is the number, they will grow, and the population of the plant at that region will grow randomly. At some point it is very rare, at some point it is clubbed, right? At some point it is optimum. So random distribution is again one of the pattern of dispersion, right? Then the third one is the clubbed shaped or clubbed distribution. Now here you can see the animal of a particular population are grouped together, right? So this is the clubbed shaped distribution. So the member of this kind of population are distributed in clusters, and it is clubbed dispersion found in most of the plants, and that drops their seeds straight to the ground, or in most of the animals that live in a groups, right? The clubbed dispersion is also shown by most of the animals that live in a group, right? Say for example, we can take example of a rabbit. At certain points or at certain places, the population of a rabbit is more, whereas at another point their population is very less. Even human, we can also say human, they are gathered at one place, like in the city area humans they are gathered, in the villages they are gathered, right? Whereas in the non-urban or in case of a forest area, there is no distribution of a human. So the plants and animals, some plants and some animals, they shows those animals which are living in groups, they shows clubbed dispersion. So we have studied the dispersal. Dispersal is what? Migration or movement of an individual from their birth site to the breeding site, right? And the dispersion is what? Scattering of the organism, and that is usually in the line of a systematics and evolution, right? So we have studied the dispersion. Now let's move ahead and see what is there on the next slide. Population dynamics, and under which we're going to study two main points: exponential and logistic growth, right? So the population dynamics, population shows characteristic pattern of increase which are called as a population growth forms. Okay, so population that shows a characteristic pattern of increase which are called as a population growth forms, and such a growth forms represent the interaction of biotic potential and environmental resistance. So wherever the population is going to grow, so some kind of a biotic potential, or you can say some kind of environmental resistance, is always there. Along with that environmental resistance, the biotic environment, or you can say the animal population, still it grows further, right? So the study of a population dynamics is done by the three approaches. How one can study the population dynamics? So there are three main approaches, three main models put forth by the scientists. So the first model is the mathematical model. So mathematical model is been applied for studying the population dynamics, and this mathematical model is again of two types: the theoretical model and the simulation model, right? Theoretical model and the simulation model. Now what is the theoretical model? So in case of a theoretical model, the derivative, obviously mathematics is what? The statistical science or numerical science, right? So as to study this population dynamics or population growth, the numerical model, mathematical model, theoretical model is been applied, right? So theoretical model derives an equation. An equation is formed that may describe the population changes, and the behavior of such a model can be tested by comparing these with the real population. Whatever theoretical model is been prepared, that theoretical model is quite describing, quite showing similarities of the actual population changes. Okay, so whatever population changes are there that are described by the theoretical model, and then that theoretical model is also tested by comparing this with the real population, whether it is going to show all the characteristic of the growing stage, growing population, growing stages of the population or not. That been tested with the real population, right? And the another one, that is a simulation. Okay, simulation model. So that use the detailed data from the real population. The simulation, what it does, it used to have a real data with the of the real population and try to predict future behavior of these population under a specific environmental conditions, right? So simulation is what? Nothing but a particular model again. But similarity is being considered, similarity of the population, growth of the population is being considered with the whatever existing environmental conditions, and on the basis of that the future perspectives of the population is being indicated by this simulation model. Okay, so the models are of use only if they explain facets of population dynamics of the real population. Whatever mathematical models are there, they can be accepted, but when it can explain every facet of the real population, every drawback, every major point, minor point of a real population, if it explains, then and then only such a models can be accepted for studying the population dynamics. Now the next model is a laboratory model, right? The laboratory model, for what it has been used? The prediction often tested experimentally. Whatever prediction made by this mathematical model is being tested experimentally using the population, laboratory population. Okay, so whatever mathematical model is been prepared, whatever it says, that can be tested under controlled environmental condition, under laboratory environmental condition, or the laboratory animals. Okay, in the laboratory a specific group of individual is being maintained as an laboratory individual, laboratory animal, laboratory population, on which this experimental models they can be tested, whether they are fulfilling the all characteristics or criteria or not. That is been tested at the laboratory level, right? And the next model is field studies. So this field studies is nothing but a little tough model. Okay, so the field study mathematical model and laboratory model studies are of value only if they help to explain behavior of the natural population. Whether this mathematical laboratory can be model can be used or not, it can be used only if it explains the behavior of a natural population, right? And the field studies, no doubt, the field studies are made through number of complex processes, right? Going into the field, studying, or you can say staying with the real population, observing the behavior of the population, how they interact, how they communicate, how they fulfill their requirements. So that entire things has been studied in the means entire growth of the population, dynamic population is being studied in the field studies, which is nothing but little tough as compared to previous two, because previous two mathematical model and laboratory model, this can be studied in the laboratory condition, but the field study, for that person has to go into the actual population, means into the field, right? And my dear students, the rest of 2 points that we'll study in the next lecture, rest of 2 points means what? Exponential and logistic growth, exponential and logistic growth, because these are again vast points. We have to spend a little more time on which. So with this, I'm saying thank you